Okay, Rachel Beauvoir Dominique, anthropologist, Vodou expert and also a member of Vodou priestess. Some short questions for you, please. What is Vodou?
Vodou is a way of life for the Haitian people, but beyond being a way of life for the Haitian people, it's also a very important religion. It is a spirituality and it is a culture. And this not only for the Haitian people, but also for all the people of African descent in the New World. That is in Brazil, Candomblé, Santeria, Puerto Rico and Cuba. In North America, Vodou, and the various other forms that exist thanks to the influx of other peoples. You'll find it in all South America, North America, and of course from its roots in Africa, spreading from the Congo region, all of the west coast of Africa, all the way up to the sub-Saharan regions. And so really it is a composite, and what we have in Haiti as Vodou is a microcosm of all of that concentrated in this very small third of an island that we call Haiti. And that spreads to the Dominican Republic and all of the Caribbean.
Are there any evil forces in Vodou?
This is how Vodou has always been characterized, which they call voodoo.
Yes.
And particularly at the time of the American occupation, 1915-1934 in Haiti. And at that time it was necessary, because of racism, and in order to justify the occupation of Haiti, to show that those people were barbarians, were savages. And so they invented Hollywood's version of Vodou, which is this ancestral religion, which is part of Haitian culture. And in this culture, we don't see that there is evil. We think that the word evil is a construct that comes from other places and is certainly not ours. The good and the bad are very Christian notions, very Manichaean. We think more in terms of grays, of black becoming white and white becoming black, yin and yang.
Yes.
As in the figure of yin and yang, there is a perpetual movement of things. And for us, there is no evil. Things become evil when they are seen in an evil eye, depending on, and we think that what is evil is the occupation, is slavery, which we broke the chains of, is oppression of humanity by other portions of humanity. This is what we consider to be evil. We don't think that in the Vodou culture there is evil as such.
And what about the needles through dolls? Is that something you ever seen, or is that
those are pure Hollywood constructs that certainly go back to elements perhaps of European heritage, I don't know. We have Pake Congo, which are charms, and that are generally good luck charms, that help to empower individuals in their lives. So they are not made to be aggressive, they are made to the contrary, resist, be able to struggle back, be able to be oneself, in order to be able to assume one individual, social, collective identity, strength and combativity.
Okay. So why is it so important, this is the last question, to present an exhibition about Vodou and Haiti?
There are various reasons why that's important. One of the reasons that it's important is because the Haitian people have been so oppressed historically. The colony of Saint-Domingue, which is the old French colony, which was on the territory of Haiti, was one of the most savage and exploitive colonies. This is where France built all their riches upon, and the average lifespan of the slave in Saint-Domingue was 3 to 5 years. They did not have any sleep. They were worked completely to death. And throughout the 19th century till the 20th century, where we're at now, still this oppression has continued, even after the independence, on the Haitian people, who have been considered, particularly during the 19th century, right after the first successful slave revolt, a bad example for the rest of the world. They wouldn't like other slaves to see the same thing. So Haiti was kept apart from the nations, embargo of 60 years. And with this, no schools could be built because they had to pay back, starting in 1825, the French colonists to have their recognition. So then, really, the resources were drained, and Haiti has become one of the most impoverished nations of the world. And because of that, actually, it's the combination of imperialism today, racism worldwide, Haitian nation has to stand for itself in the reconstruction that we need to have today. But beyond that, I think that understanding Vodou culture allows for an understanding of human cultures. And it's also an understanding of the tolerance one needs to have towards the other in their ways of seeing the world, their cosmologies, the beauty of all the different cultures, the fact that we can live together, and that there is no need for fanaticism or intolerance, that we are able to go beyond that. And furthermore, I think for all the people of black descent, for all the people who are marginalized, excluded, I think that this is a very powerful element of recognizing themselves and their cultures and their identities. It helps the people oppressed, and it's also helping the people who are the oppressors when the way that it is presented, the elements of resistance to understand what is going on, how we are understanding this oppression, how we have resisted that oppression, the elements of ridicule, of how things have been presented in a most vulgar and stereotyped manner, the way that we need to change mentalities worldwide.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.